Hello, I hope all is progressing well. Welcome to I Don't Know, We Can Talk About It, where we discuss myriads of topics civilly, reasonably, and responsibly. My name is Kevin Dufresne. Our first topic is about how a district might approach using funding on the basis of outcomes. I find, if not already happening, such a discussion greatly connects with how a district might be receiving funding. Criteria for receiving funding may be in great connection with how a district will disseminate funds. If familiar with the idea of how many students may fill a classroom, assessing offering funding by population, one may understand how a district, how a state, how funding may disperse may vary depending on a variety of variables, situations, factors of which may be completely out of control, as one may consider life to a fair degree. I feel as though determining outcomes may be challenging, especially considering prior technology as effective in comparison with technology sources, resources that may be apparent, though may not have a historical backdrop of research to support or antagonize what may be in the offering. If books, pencils, and notebooks are of value, of resources, evidentially effective with one's growth, one's learning, in connection with one's thinking, guidance, aspirations, then what is to encourage beyond the effective? I find a difference between attempting to be modern technologically and being effective in modernity. If funding finds outcomes as a factor, what is a factor for finding funding that is not already in connection with outcomes? I find navigating between necessities, especially coming from any entity considering a hierarchy of education, greatly affecting how funding may disperse through reasons benefiting an educational atmosphere, educational atmospheres, finding values already present and effective, results of which are present by individuals with histories of academic successes, of which many are. I find resources, allocations of resources, may find better tunings in ways that regard effectivity, efficiency, parameters of educational environments, of an educational environment that are sound for growth, not dismissing what is already effective, especially if what is already is cost effective. Our next topic, reading. What might one do to improve one's reading? Considering an educational atmosphere, considering educational atmospheres, what may be so individuals navigate more effectively, more efficiently beyond academia, within academia? I appreciate the article presenting many areas of consideration, varieties of programs, varieties of feedback to bring about an awareness of reading, of how reading is receptively for not only students, any working in education, though considering how reading, becoming better at anything, requires practice. When considering how one may approach a program, I find approaching education as supplemental to life is quite sound. The connection of education as supplemental to life allows for better understanding that one may subscribe to learning forever, learning well forever, being optimal, and recognize the vastness of education. When considering what one may obtain from education to use in one's life, then understanding learning may further. Having a clear understanding, one may learn, self-learn, engage with learning well, of one's accord may prove valuable for one assessing how to navigate educational parameters. Reading through a program proves differently for anyone. Even if everyone uses the same program, considering especially individuals have different values, different degrees of ethics, establishing toward adulthood, into adulthood, beyond adulthood, which foundationally needs support. If one is able to assess one's learning practically, to engage with learning practically, enthused over learning, then one may become better with learning, better with reading. Reading requires practice. Even individuals with many degrees may continue to learn. I value dictionaries. I highly value dictionaries. I appreciate dictionaries. And I am coming from a background of strong, good learning, keeping an open mind to furthering learning well. Having resources to assist one with one's learning may encourage one to further self-learn, self-educate. The right resources may prove extremely valuable. Obtaining the right resources includes obtaining the right knowledge about what a resource may be right about. Dictionaries are wonderful resources to have, which boost one's understanding of what a word may mean, what a phrase may mean, may boost one's reading comprehension, may boost one's ability to research, encourage one's willingness to research. This is not to say one will learn to navigate how one values through using a resource like a dictionary, though one may find defining, one may find more connection to meaning through such a good resource. Encouraging self-learning, self-education, valuing education supplementally to life may prove extremely valuable with encouraging reading parameters that may be falling in line with what is not of any medical diagnosis, where it's not of a situation that may require a different necessitating attention to a biological progression or a biological instance, which of course may find remedy. What one may learn along the way of learning through reading, of reading through learning, may be extremely valuable to one furthering one's learning, furthering oneself in the ever progressing independent reality at large. All right, we're going to get into some origami. First, we'll fold in a square paper. Today we're going to make an origami narwhal. Now, if you're familiar with making an origami whale, a narwhal, a real animal, is right in line with the whale folds. As you can see, after making the first initial fold, point to point, 2 folds here, and work very well. Next, we're going to take this sheet and turn it over. We're going to bring this tail, as you can see. So if I just turn it over here, just turn it over here, I'm just going to flip this portion here. So, next, we have a form here. On the other side, we have a form here. We're going to return to the side here, where we may fold in similarly to our second and third fold. After which I will show you. Next, we're going to unfold. Remember, origami, Japanese art of folding paper, as far as I know, allows us to use folds from particular instances to further our way to our goal fold. Our goal fold in this case would be the origami narwhal. We take this portion up here next, as you can see, we'll bring it in. So we're gonna open it up, then we're going to use this fold as a guiding point. So what I'm gonna do is just basically show you this gliding of my finger up here will go up here. Perfect. Next, we're going to extend the bottom portion. So you can see it from this portion. I'm just going to lift up the back portion. See that? So I just lift up the back portion. And here we have our fold. You open them up, the folds will look so. Next, we're going to turn over to the side with no folds here, and we're going to just bend in one side. Now here is a halfway point where all four lines meet center-wise. We'll bring the point there and we'll just fold up. Now this may look very familiar for any familiar with the whale origami. We're going to continue here, bringing in the tail by folding it. As you can see, there's a little bend here. Folding it in here, then we'll just open it up and we're going to flip the tail, fold. So when you flip the tail fold, it comes up. And there you have it. We're at our whale form very clearly. Now to really get the bend in though, we're going to want to fold in these arms. However you want your whale arms to be, you can have them. I'm going to fold them in with a little bit of a bend. Somewhat uneven, like they're swimming, but also here, give it some wave. Now we have our origami whale. Our narwhal comes in from this port here. We're going to take this inner piece in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out. We're going to just give it a nice bend. So you can see the bend you choose is completely up to you. You can bend it from within, so you can bend it from here. You'll have a nice pointing here, inside. There's a narwhal. Or you can bend it further out if you want a further extending horn. You see, then you can have it out here as well. It's completely up to you. Where I'm gonna have mine is I'm gonna have mine just about here, right in between the initial point and the point of extreme somewhat, where the horn is completely out in the front. And voila, you have here an origami narwhal. Our next topic is about a physical book, a book which I appreciate, a story of which I appreciate. Learning initially about Watership down through Netflix, I find many years later the actual book of which the series on Netflix is about. If it's on Netflix now, I'm not entirely sure, though as of recent months, I do recall watching it again. And I really appreciate the story. It's so good. I find this journey of these rabbits to be more than interesting. Understanding how rabbits actually navigate, understanding how rabbits actually communicate to a fair degree. The book is on the basis of actual research about rabbits and navigating between these different warrens and how the warrens may grow, how rabbits may discover a warren, what may affect where and how rabbits live is extremely fascinating. finding beyond moral stances, very good storytelling is very appealing and enjoyable with Watership Down. So I really appreciate the characters and the journeys between the spiritual realms of rabbits and the earthly realm of rabbits. Again, I want to touch on reading the text, reading the story in its entirety. The actual Netflix series, I recall watching up to a point. In my mind, I'm actually thinking of the book more so than the actual Watership Down series. Both I find very appealing. The 3D-ish motions of the rabbits, the voice acting is really solid, and I find the story appealing, gravitating toward these characters dramatically approaching how to survive as a rabbit, how to thrive as a rabbit, between the politics of warrens, between the different politics of leaders, mentalities, and I really, really enjoy Watership Down. The full book, the full story that I read in the book, I really enjoy it, and I do appreciate greatly the Netflix series. And I just really appreciate, at the base of all of this discussion about Watership Down, the story of Watership Down. And I think the text is worth reading if one is already of awareness of the series. Fair, I find the text offers a lot more intricate details that may bring roundness to the series. Thanks for watching. I don't know. We can talk about it. Onward and Upward, Dufresne.